My video for May the 17th, 2018 is entitled, Let's Just Call Ourselves Human. Labels divide. People who identify with labels can easily end up becoming divisive in relation to those who have a different label. Yes, it's insane. Humanity is cursed with insanity. We so easily identified with the form rather than the invisible substance of the spirit that gives life to all of us. This leads first to slavery, then to war, and finally to mutual destruction. How many times are we going to destroy the planet before we can awaken enough to rise above and get beyond the misunderstanding? Even the very word human can be divisive. But can we at least recognize that humans most often come in two genders with various gradations of color? Neither gender is superior to the other, and no skin color signifies superiority. It may sound insane to those blinded by the programming, yet it seems obvious to me and many others who are in various stages of awakening. As for me, I go on record, again, that I choose love as the cornerstone of my life. My duty and responsibility is to do what I can to heal and help others do the same. Now, I had a friend write to me, and when I came to the computer once again after my meditation and prayers this morning before I got up, I didn't know what I was going to make the video on. I did not have a clear inspiration, if you will. But I got a comment here from Milton, and he said, for me, God is the sum infinite total of it all. We are made in the image and stuff, all that is, was, and ever will be. Then he added Deepak Chopra's field of all possibilities. We are co-creators. The fact that we are co-creators in the respect that we do create our experience. I don't believe we create reality. We create the experience that we have in the reality that already is. And that reality is an invisible reality, or a reality of spirit, you might say. And when it manifests as form, it has, as I said, genders and colors and all sorts of things that are different so that we can have an identity, so that we don't all just look like carbon copies of each other. We have personalities, we have character. And what kind of character are we developing when we identify with labels? We're creating a character of divisiveness. We're creating a character of with an inability to cooperate, with an inability to see beyond the apparent differences and come to the substance of things, which is an invisible substance. We have trouble comprehending that which we can't see because we've been programmed to base our reality, if you will, or our experience on what we can perceive with our senses. And there's another sense that has to be reawakened. Apparently, it's been put to sleep in most humans. And while sometimes children seem to have it, they get it beaten out of them or knocked out of them through the education system and the training of parents who have been inculcated with the insanity of separation. How can we have identity without also falling prey to the craziness of thinking in terms of better and worse, or of good and bad, or of polarization that gets us to war instead of love. Again, I don't know how many times I have to keep repeating this, because obviously most of humanity still doesn't get it. If we could all learn to cooperate, which means to listen to one another, which means to recognize that as individuals, we all have our own unique experience. And our job is not to make our experience the only right one, but our job is to get beyond our personal experience and share our lives freely with others. And freely is the thing. Not, you don't force, you don't coerce, you don't manipulate, you just freely share. I'm glad in a sense that YouTube stopped paying me a long time ago for the views that my videos were getting. And I have videos with tens of thousands of views. Not many, but I do have some. And relative to the 2,700 approximately videos that are out there now, I do have some that have had tens of thousands of views. And I used to get paid money regularly every other month. YouTube would send me or would deposit in my account some money, but that stopped like 4 years ago or something like that. I don't know the exact time, but it stopped, and I waited several months and it didn't start again. I tried to find an answer. I couldn't get an answer. YouTube didn't communicate with me as to why things were the way they were, or if they did communicate with me, it didn't register. In any case, I just stopped monetizing all of my videos. I mean, I'm not doing anything to make money. I want to build bridges to help people get beyond the division and the divisiveness that has separated us into warring camps and competing camps. Competition is fine in sports, but it sucks in life. I know I've said that before, in maybe different words, but the same meaning. I want to see and participate in a kingdom of heaven on earth. Now that means different things to different people. The words have connotations that don't always mean the same thing to everybody that hears it. But what I mean by it is the kingdom of heaven on earth means that we've learned to cooperate. We've learned the art of peace rather than the destructiveness of war. We've learned to share instead of hoarding for ourselves. And yet we feel the need to hoard because of the culture that we have grown up in. I mean, I have to put a little bit of money away and save some money in case my car breaks down, for example. I can't just give that money away. If I have a need to get work done on my car, I have to have the ability to pay for it still. And if I don't have a car, I don't have a means of getting from one place to another without public transportation, which is horrible, or without walking, which is ridiculous when you don't live in a big city. You might be able to get away with it in some of the big cities that have pretty decent subway systems, but even that is not as good as having your own vehicle. Of course, having your own vehicle in a big city like New York can be problematic because where do you park? But in any case, these are things that we wrestle with. And as for me, I'm a human being. There's many differences between me and other human beings, but I'm not going to focus on those differences. I want to build bridges. I want to love, because that's the fulfillment of everything that's important to me. Thank you for listening, and namaste.